Hey everyone, it's Hidesh, back with another Ishida Attack video. And today we're going to be looking at Suzuki's P-7d Novelty. But since this strategy is the newest theory, I don't know so much about it. I'm going to just talk about the things that I read in the books and internet. Okay, so this is the basic position of Ishida Attack. Quick Ishida Attack. And if only we play P-8d, now you can go for quick Ishida Attack here, right? If he plays P-8d, you have to move the rook to here if you want to go for quick attack. Because if you try to go on to the plenary formation, you won't be able to do that because this attack is faster. So you have to protect with the bishop so you can't make the plenary formation. So of course, once you see P-8d, you have to move the rook over to 7h. And once white made that pawn push, for consistency, he will push the pawn here. Anyway, so now we're in the basic position of quick attack, and from here, today we're going to look at Suzuki style P-7d Novelty. So white will basically take it, but let's see what happens if the silver protects there. Let's say he didn't want to open this diagonal and move the silver. Well, in this case, you can just promote it, or maybe we use take the bishop first. It doesn't matter. And if the knight comes over, you can drop a pawn. So let's say he takes with the silver, but you can just sack your rook and a pawn drop. If the knight goes away, don't promote the pawn. You have this king rook fork. So maybe the rook has to go to here, getting away from this file, eighth file, which the rook wants to be on. And if pawn drop, maybe bishop drop to 5e should be a good move. But of course, you have to be always be careful about this bishop drop. But basically, this position is good for black. So white won't do that, and basically he takes a pawn here. Okay, now in Suzuki style, you take it with the rook, and let's say what happens if white simply drops a pawn, blocking the rook and blocking this diagonal. Well, in that case, the rook can just go back, but don't go back to here, for example. I think it will be met by this bishop fork anytime, and you can't drop the bishop to here because the rook is already there. So it is recommended that rook moves back to 7e. In this case, bishop drop on the 4 is not going to work. So, but it's not protecting the 8f square, so white can go there. But there's a very good move, gold 7h. And actually, this position is thought to be pretty much playable for black. Black could simply make a pawn trade at the 7th file, and still 8th file is okay with this very good structure of gold protecting bishop's head. Well, one thing we have to worry is rook takes 8h promote. Yeah, this is cool because, yeah, bishop fork, king rook fork. Actually, it's fine. You can move the rook to here, and it's fine. Maybe it will go gold 7b, and after king runs, he has to take the rook anyway. But silver recaptures, and black's okay. So maybe from this position, he won't take the bishop, and let's say he simply moves the silver to here. Maybe black calmly drops the pawn here. Rook has to go back, and black goes for castling. And black is not so bad. He can go for half minnow castle, and his rook is very mobile. He can go back to 7f, trying this attack. So he has to prepare for that with the silver. But now the rook can actually go to here, forcing a rook trade. And since white doesn't want to do that, he has to drop a pawn, and you can go to 3f attacking the pawn. And it's very good mobility of your rook. So this line is thought to be better for black. Oh, it's not better, but black is doing pretty good. So actually, white pawn dropped this pawn on 7c, and what white does that is, well, this is a actually classic Joseki. White has this attack of bishop drop to 6e, forking the pieces. So if the rook runs, he can promote. And because of this position, the line of pawn push to 7d wasn't thought to be a good move in classic Joseki. But this is where professional player Daisuke Suzuki found a very good move. Well, it's not something he found. It's, well, you can find that. It's simply bishop drop and 5f. But he proposed, even if white takes the rook here, you can recapture it, and it's still pretty much playable position for black. That was his proposal. And it seems he's right. A lot of professional players started to play this line after that. And actually, other than taking this rook, there are other moves. That is, bishop takes 5f, or bishop to 5d, attacking 2g square. Well, the main line is, of course, taking a rook. But let's see this one, bishop to 5d first. I think professional player Sato played this move first, maybe. So, well, but protecting 2g square is pretty simple. You can move the silver, getting ready for the Mino castle. So that's one example, but it will proceed like maybe this. Well, it doesn't have to be this way, but it's only an example. But, well, you know, the king structure is better for black, so it's not so much of a good option for white to move the bishop to 5d. So now let's take a look at bishop takes the bishop. Well, what is the point of this move, taking the bishop? Because he now couldn't take the rook and he couldn't promote the bishop. What is he doing? Well, what he's doing is he opened this square for a bishop drop. But before dropping to there, well, this diagonal is always dangerous. So maybe he'll first drop a pawn, let the rook go back, and then drop a bishop. However, yeah, white can make a horse, but it's thought to be still playable for black. Black can still do pretty good. He can drop another pawn again and drop a bishop here. Well, rook is stringed, so he has to protect the lance. And, well, so black takes it, and rook goes ahead. But silver calmly moved to 3c, and then go to 4h. Instead of promoting this way, he dropped a pawn and kick the rook back and promote to here. Well, white has made a horse and it's pretty good, but black has got a rook here and it's still playable. Maybe he can now move the king over to here, for example, and maybe put pressure to the horse with this line, for example. So that's one option. And another game has proceeded differently after this position. Instead of pawn drop to 7c, white tried another option, 0 to 2b, blocking this diagonal, and he tried to move the silver faster than that. Well, if white does that, king can go to 4h, protecting this square. And anyway, white has to drop a pawn anyways, and rook has to go back. Now the question is, white can't drop a bishop, but he can go this pawn push now. But actually, white can't do that yet. Well, I mean, he moved the silver in order to make this push possible. I mean, after a pawn takes, a rook takes. Here's a bishop fork. But if this was a rook lance fork, that will be defended. Black will win the lance. But this time, he moved the silver, so actually he can move the rook over to here, protecting the silver, right? However, that is actually impossible because at this position, black has a very, very good pawn drop to 7b. You know, he can drop a pawn on this file. And if he takes it, now bishop fork. And you can't go back and protect the silver. So actually, even if he moved the silver, he can't go pawn to 8f yet. So he moved the silver to 3c. And although the king is protecting here, it's not a good position. It's going to be checked from this diagonal very soon. So actually black gives away that square and rather go for castling. Pretty interesting. Let's say white calmly moves the silver. Well, now white can go pawn to 8f, so black moves the silver there. Now finally he can drop a bishop. Well, then for example, it goes like that. Yeah, and white can make a horse again, but black is still playable. He can make a minnow castle later. So that's kind of example. Well, it's just examples after bishop takes 5f. It's not the main line. So now let's take a look at the main line. Main line is bishop takes the rook and bishop recaptures. And now it's obviously the bishop is attacking this pawn, protecting there with rook fork. Rook fork is not gonna work, of course. Okay, so what does white do? Okay, let's see this very simple, the most natural reply by white. 0 to 6b, yeah, of course. But actually, this move is not thought to be not very good now, because here's another bishop drop on 5e and a rook lands fork. Well, but still, white can defend with the pawn drop, attacking the bishop. So black can't take the lands now. He has to move the bishop back to 5f. But then now this bishop is attacking the lands. And at this position, the only way white can defend it is rook drop on 1b. Well, this position is a little bit better for black. The rook is doing nothing here. So actually, instead of silver to 6b, the best move now is gold to 6b. And you know, the difference is actually the silver is stringing the rook now. So bishop drop on 5e would occur, but here's a very, very good idea by white. It's pawn push to 4d. So he says taking the rook is okay. He can recapture. And if black takes the pawn, look at this, rook to 8d, skewering the bishops. It's very rare tactic. So basically, black will move the bishop back to 5f anyway. And so this time, white has a way to protect his lands. I mean, this bishop's diagonal without dropping a rook. He can move the silver there, and if bishop goes ahead, he can block it with the knight. Wow. Then black has to deal with this pawn push, so he moves the bishop back to 7g. Let's say pawn to a5d, and black goes for the third file actually, pawn to 3f, because the knight has been moved, so he should attack there. But white can go for the 8th file actually, like that. And oh sorry, by the way, black can't take this pawn with the bishop actually, because pawn to 5e now, because that bishop is no longer there, and if bishop goes this way, rook fork, and this way, the bishop doesn't want to go there. I'm going to tell you the reason later. And if he goes there, knight will attack it anyway. And if he goes this way, you can see now the bishop is dead. And if he goes this way, pawn drop. If he goes this way, yeah, the bishop is dead too. Or even you can try this pawn push. If he takes it, rook drop to here, and it will be a disaster. And if he defends, you sack the pawn, and you can even kill the bishop with a pawn. Very good. So, and if he takes it, rook skewer. So actually the bishop has to, after all, go to here. If he goes to here or directly to here, here's a pawn drop, blocking the bishop's escaping route. And after the bishop runs, I see the rook, the bishop is dead actually. So that's why black can't take that pawn with the bishop on 8f, so he has to take with the pawn. So white will attack like this, and he can go there, and pawn drop. Well, it's just an example. And black goes for third file. Well, it's attacking this square. And if you defend, white can now develop this knight, and it's very powerful. So black maybe ignore it and go for the third file like that. Well, I'm not sure which is better. Maybe lance drop, securing the knight and the king, but pawn drop. Well, it's pretty interesting. Well, the bishop can take it, but then the knight can take the gold. So that's one option. But lately, even better move is invented from black side. It was actually, yeah, here. Black simply took the pawn here for the. But now, actually, there's this pawn drop. See, if you take the rook, he loses the lance, and if he takes the silver, he loses the rook. So actually, he can only take the gold. That means 5c square is open. So it's a fork. White will then move the knight to 3c. So see, black can now promote. However, Professor Suzuki says instead of promoting the bishop, still pawn to 3f is better. He should hurry that pawn push, promoting bishop. Well, that's interesting. He doesn't even protect this square. He just go for the third file, and he says that's the best way. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so actually that's pretty much it for this video. I think this strategy is still difficult. It's not necessarily black's better. White is doing pretty good too. Okay, so in the next video we're gonna go to Kubo style, a rook to 7e strategy. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.